Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Conversing in Vain. This is the continuation and final part of the conversation between LouisVuittonDon, NeonFire, and myself. We talk about a lot of in-game things that either aren't working well or maybe tips that can help you guys play better. It's pretty interesting. We had, once again, a lot of fun recording it, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get right into it.
Dude, they need to fix the active item size. It's so, it got smaller.
Bro, if they literally...
Actually, there's a lot of shit about the interface that's bad, I think.
100%. But if every single game your actives were kept the same size and in the exact same spot, especially for captains, that'd be clutch. That would be so nice. Because crucible placement and stuff like that moves throughout the game for captains as you buy more items.
I always reorganize mine into the right order.
True. So do I. But it's just annoying to have it larger at the start.
Size.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
we have 6 actives. It's
it defaults so hard under the map that takes up more of the screen. I feel I know this would have been disorienting, but I feel like they should have moved everything that's on the top right, like the pings and all this shit, to the left, put the map top right. That way you had more room for your activatables, since they're making you keep your activatables.
Oh, yeah. I despise having the map in the top left. Because for a phone, it's too big. And when you're kiting in that direction, I constantly... That's the main reason that I don't like playing top lane. Because, on my screen, my thumbs are closer to the mini-map. So when I'm kiting backwards and top, I'll misclick the mini-map.
Yeah, and your screen starts bugging out. It's disorienting.
Yeah.
And it's always when you need to be very precise. It's not you're just sitting there waiting for somebody.
They need to remove non-activatable items from your screen. I don't need to see my build if it's not actives, which I
used to have it like that, I think, at one point, way back when.
That would be so nice. Just to clear up space.
Yeah, I was noticing a problem with space too in the Spectator Mode. They have all 10 heroes and their shit, all at the bottom, right?
They got them lined up.
Just the aspect ratio, we have this really wide screen that's not very tall. And you're taking away a third or at least a quarter of the screen vertically with all this shit. Couldn't they put them closer to maybe 3 on the sides and 2 on the bottom and put the map on the bottom or something? I don't know. Something so we can see.
Yeah, they just don't give you that option.
Yeah, that's another interface problem I have. I don't like where Flask and Scalp Cams go, or at least make them customizable. Because I brought
Fuji
this up.
said in the past. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well,
maybe you have better info than I do.
Fuji has said in the past that he thinks that, well, supposedly SMC has more plans to release other types of activatables and things to press at the bottom of your screen. So that's why Flask is in the position that it's in, and Cam.
Are these going to be permanent things or optional things?
We keep asking that, and it seems like most people want them. Or you mean future things? I'm not 100% sure. But as far as Flask placement, it seems like it's just going to be permanent, even though most people want the option to have it in a different position.
So here's my thinking with it, right? You tend to use your A a lot more than your C, no matter who you are, and whatever hero you're playing. And Flask is way more longer cooldown, more important clutch usage than Scalp Cam. So I end up pressing it all the time. Even still, I've been playing this mode since Golden Tickets came out. Not a lot, not like I used to, but still enough that I shouldn't have this problem anymore, and I still do with my fat fingers on my phone. So if you put Scalp Cams where, if you just switch the two, you do nothing else, you just switch the two, when you press Scalp Cam, you don't immediately put it down. Like you get it requires 2 clicks to place. Is basically what I'm getting at. So why not put the one next to the ability that you use all the time that requires two clicks, and then the more clutch one, like on the other side, doesn't? I don't know. This seems like it would make total sense to me.
Yeah, 100%. That makes sense.
So or at least give us the option. Like obviously they have the capability to make stuff interchangeable because you do with your activatables. So why not just add that feature? I know it's not as simple as I'm making it out to be, but I'm
right.
I want it now.
It's my money.
Yes.
And I want it now.
There's something else with the interface. Oh yeah, just the map in general. I get it's an exact mini map, so it has to be the diamond shape. But I find like if I want to click on the edge of the map, it's difficult. You know, I have to. What I've found myself doing lately is just starting more towards the middle of it and then dragging down to where I want to look. Because if I try to just look at the map, like on the edge anywhere, either the top or the bottom, like where the tier 1 turret is on top and bottom lane, if I try to click that exact spot, I'd never click it. I just start moving that way.
Yeah.
Like, but I also don't want that part to not be somewhere you can move because, like you were saying, for kiting, it's already a problem that the map is there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hate that, honestly.
Did you make a YouTube video after our inspiring conversation?
No, I haven't. I've been recording stuff though.
In the app or like with OBS?
In the app, just using screen record.
Was this working for you before, or like? Because I know I talked about it last week. I can't remember what you said. Was it always working for you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been working.
Okay. I haven't tried it since 3.1, so I need to try it. But I know it wasn't working before. Maybe my phone's just too old. How much on average do you get? Like, let's say a week. How many hours of Vainglory do you guys play a week?
More than I would like to.
Because I know there's some days like you may not play at all, but then there's some days you may put in 10+ hours. So
yeah, I don't know. What would you say, Neon? I'm always passing it off to you.
He's gone. He's tired.
Neon's AFK.
He fell asleep again.
Yeah, he fell asleep. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey man, did you hear what I said?
I've been talking this whole time.
Oh. We haven't heard you for a solid minute.
Yeah, my Discord keeps like crashing and like I don't know. It's
mine does that too. How many hours though?
Recently, I haven't been playing much, but like when I like grind a lot, I don't know, like like I don't know, 20+ hours a week, maybe more if I'm like playing like constantly every day. But like I said, like this week, I've been playing like 1 or 2 matches a day, so like it's not, not too much.
Yeah, but on average, probably 3 hours a day. Not lately.
Sometimes more, okay. Like 4, 5. Yeah, like 4 or 5 hours a day. Yeah, and on the weekends, like way more.
Hell yeah!
But yeah.
Mine's probably similar. But like I don't know. Sometimes if I'm like with a scrim, then it'll be for like 2 blocks for like 4 hours or something. Which is it's kind of, it takes a lot out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, scrims are way more taxing.
Yeah, they honestly are. Yeah. They're so much more fun though.
Yeah, because everybody has to get, like, you have something to prove in a scrim. And
it's more fun going against people that know what they're doing. So you can actually see how good you are instead of just shitting on tier 8s in every single lane. Yeah, and you can improve.
Okay. Yeah.
And you actually are forced to play the game like a MOBA rather than just like you actually have to rotate and stuff. But
I was thinking about what would be a good comparison for like skill tiers, because I think if what they say is true about how many people are VG and above, like if you've never been VG and you don't know how much better like VG Silver and VG Gold players are than VG Bronze players like myself. It's like, here's the best way I can compare it to. Like, somebody who's a millionaire, right? They're rich as fuck, and they're like way above. You may meet like one or two in your life, but you're not going to meet that many. Like, they're kind of a rare thing. But then the VG Silver Gold players are like billionaires. That's how much better they are than like the people that may have $1 million to like say $50 million. Like, those people are rich as fuck. I'll never meet them. I'll never hang out with them. But the guys that are scrimming, the guys that are playing like actual competitive, like these guys I'm talking to right now. So when he says like shitting on players, that's probably his average game. He just constantly shits on people.
That's like I have 4 people in my lane all game.
Yeah, well, that's why like when we play against you, I always try to, like, if it's somebody I recognize, I always try to be an annoying prick to them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I'm like, this guy never gets challenged. I don't care if I die. I'm going to go be an asshole.
100%.
It's funny, too, because I always, Neon, like, when Neon plays with us, and me and Tinker are over, like, doing something stupid, he's like, you guys shouldn't be there. What are you doing? We're just we're on an adventure.
And even within, like, I don't know. I don't want to open up this whole discussion, but the rank system does need to be improved, like, dramatically, because there's really not a great indication of how good a player's skill is depending on what tier they're at. Like, there's even a huge differential between like VG Silver players like in the same tier.
Yeah.
And shit like that. Like,
and even more so each tier you go down.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying.
Like, I've always said, the difference between like POA Bronze to VG Bronze is like the difference from tier 5 to POA. Like, that's just within that one tier, there's that much difference between people.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, and then you have your occasional, VG Silver, VG Gold people that are questionable.
Yeah, that's true as well.
There's not a ton, though, right? Like, I would assume.
There's not a ton, but...
There's not a ton, and there's still, like... I would say that there's no VG Gold players who are bad at the game, but there are definitely, like, maybe around 4 to 5, that like, are not nearly as good. Like, there are around 4 to 5 VG Golds that would, like, just get shit on in competitive.
Is that just a now thing, or was that?
I'm saying that's right now, because I don't think it's always been like.
I don't think anybody counts.
At least in it.
Like, yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to have VG Gold.
That's
on
true.
Your tag, but
that's true.
Everybody knows your 3v3
it's tough to talk
rank
about it
doesn't
right
matter
now.
anymore.
Exactly.
And you're not playing. At least I don't see anybody playing 3v3 like they
I'm grinding that. No, I'm not.
There are some people grinding it, but what I mean is, like, overall, if you take the breadth of players, especially at that skill tier, they're not playing 3v3.
Yeah,
so
no, for sure.
You still earn VG Gold, but it wasn't against the people that made VG Gold hard to get to.
Yeah, it's just not fun to play 3v3 anymore.
I mean, there's no point, really.
Yeah, there's no point. Why?
I feel like other than mechanics, a lot of the skills aren't transferable either.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I can tell the people that know how to play the game but have no concept of what 5v5 is, and that's even me to some extent. But I've been playing it since it came out, and I know what works and doesn't at a basic level. But you could tell the guys that just didn't play a single game of 5v5 until ranked came out.
Yeah.
Like, they know how to stutter step or whatever your individual mechanic you want to talk about, but they're terrible in 5s because there's so many things that are different. It's not just 3 lanes and stuff. I feel like one of the problems I've had a lot is I used to pride myself on my frontlining as a captain, because a lot of people, it seems like a basic thing, but it's so huge. But now in 5v5, I can't. Like, you can't stand there for a second because they'll kill you. But you still want to frontline as much as possible, and finding that balance of positioning has been pretty tough.
Yeah, I agree. There are a couple players though that that are good in 33, but like are way better in 5v5, or like are just hella good in 5v5. Got way better than everyone else.
Who's a great example of that? Cozz?
Yeah, I would just say Cozz. Yep.
And why do you think that is?
Cozz
Like,
is a beast.
what?
I don't know. Like he picked it up really quickly.
I've heard he's really young, so I'm assuming he didn't have like a big
He's
history of other MOBAs.
No.
He's 13, and he's also homeschooled, I think. He has a lot of time to put into the game.
He's just playing it 24/7, I guarantee.
Yeah, he is.
His mom, mom's probably teaching him how to rotate and shit in fives.
Yeah, I mean, if you play the game a lot, you put in the hours, like, it's going to show. I mean...
Yeah, you'll get better.
Yeah. For sure.
It's not just time, though. Like, I always felt like when I was actually pushing back, I guess it's when I was playing with Master Chief and Tinker a lot. I don't know if you guys were around then at all, but we like actually practiced. We talked about what we could do better, and I felt like maybe this was just an excuse, but I felt like I got to this point where I kind of realized I wasn't going to get that much better, which was like mid VG bronze. I forget what the number is, like 20, getting close to 2,500. I started to not like me as a captain, my specific position, I couldn't hang anymore. What do you think is pushing people past like those, not the initial plateau, but because I'm sure you guys experienced this to get you where you are, or maybe you're just gods and you didn't. It's been a constant climb.
No, it took me forever to get good. It took me forever. Like I've been playing this game forever, but I wasn't like even that good until recently.
There's just a lot of macro play. Like mechanics can get you so far, but if you don't know a lot of the game knowledge, like basic game knowledge, like with like some stuff Zio said in his video, like timers and all that stuff, and like knowing when to do stuff. That's honestly like what helps you, like, I guess, push past the line.
And how did you learn that stuff?
Just
was it
playing a lot,
with people
watching
that are better than you, like in Discord or what?
Yeah, like to an extent, yeah, and watching like a lot of competitive play, and then just like doing your own like research on like, you know, like what are the timers on these camps, and then okay, so you took it at this time, so then you put it like, you know, you put in your head, okay, it's gonna spawn at this time, so I need to make sure to be there. You know, you need to push, like watching the competitive play and just playing a lot, really, and like, you know, playing with I've played with Zio a lot, and he would teach me a lot, like when playing with him, so that was really helpful too. But yeah, just putting in the time and like watching really good players, like when they stream and stuff, it helps out a lot.
Because every pro player pretty much does the things the same way for the most part.
Yeah.
Like they pretty much move the same way. You know, there are some mechanics that stand out, but for the most part, everyone's playing their heroes the same way. And, you know, just rotating, pushing lanes, doing everything the exact same way, because that's what's most efficient. So you just got to like figure out what that is and then just do it.
Is it also because if you don't, it's exploitable or more exploitable?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, when you're playing in matches against like pro players, you can definitely do things that seem super effective but won't actually work. At least it won't work all the time in pro play, because people will just figure it out because they're not stupid, or they're just good at the game.
So when are you guys or I don't know, you may not have a ton of experience with this, but when are they experimenting then in like ranked games? Like if somebody does something new and groundbreaking.
I'm thinking of right now is the person I'm thinking of right now is Cozz, honestly. Like Cozz does a lot of weird shit in ranked, and this is like in 3v3, and I mean it works hella good, and sometimes it works in 3v3 and other stuff too, but yeah, I don't think it's as effective. But I mean, yeah, definitely people are experimenting in ranked and whatnot.
The example I was thinking of is pretty old, but like when Wrecked, I've heard this is attributed to him. I don't know for sure, but like when Wrecked started building multiple like Aegises on Finn or
Yeah.
armor on Finn. Like that doesn't seem like it's something that should work. And if it like that, it's really easy for it not to work actually. So I could see a time like where he tried it and it didn't work, and then it gets shut down completely, and they never look at it again, even though it's actually viable in some situations. Like when does he decide that's like he can experiment with that? Because your teammates could be like, you're wasting scrim time, like doing that stupid shit we told you not to do.
But scrims are the time to just try shit out, you know? Doesn't really matter when you lose, or if you win or lose. It's just about learning. So, like, we've definitely done some weird stuff in scrims that hasn't worked, but, you know, then you learn from there. But yeah, stacking shields is pretty good still, unlike Churn and Finn.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you saw him do it, it made total sense. Like, if you knew Finn's kit, it was like, yeah, because it's not just giving him more defense. Like, he's getting the bonus on his polite company from it. Like, it made sense, but I could, I've been with people, like, where you try something stupid. Like, I used to play Glaive Rome I'm not saying he's good now, but he has been good at times. I used to play him when he wasn't good, and it was a bad pick, but, like, people would just not talk shit, but they'd be like, really? All right, dude. Or at least I knew they were feeling that way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And I know
people do the same thing when I would pick Saw, like, fucking all the time. When no one played him, but then he kind of became meta.
You made him meta, single-handed.
Hammy made him meta.
You were talking about, Neon, you were talking about doing your research. I noticed that's like a thing. It happened when I was like tier 6, tier 7, and I noticed a lot of players at that level, they don't know what any item does. They don't know. They may know it's a weapon power or like a crystal power item, but they couldn't tell you like why they should build one or the other. And even up to VG, I've seen this from people. Like they've never taken the time to actually read each item and know what it does. So like they'll either use the default build or they'll have like their build order for their specific character. Like captains especially, obviously I pay more attention to them, but like they just always build Fountain and then Crucible and then Atlas, even if there's somebody that like Atlas has no business being used on or isn't going to help them at all. That's definitely something people could do better at. But you were talking about like timers, right? Researching timers. I know I made a video about Minion respawn timers, and I learned so much making that fucking video. Like I had no idea that was even a thing until I started reading about it or started looking at it myself.
Keeping track of jungle timers is really important, especially in five. Well, like for 5v5, it's like super important. Like you can know when to invade. You know, like when to push your lane so you can rotate to get their camp. Like it's really important.
Great. Yeah.
Are you actually looking at the clock and knowing the time, or do you just have like a feeling like you're like it should be up soon?
No. Well, like. I mean, what I do is like I look at the clock when I take it, and then I'm like, okay, it spawns 1 minute 30 seconds. So then, so I see like 1 minute 30 seconds has passed. So like it's up. So like just keeping track, basically.
Right. So if you took it at like 3 minutes, you're like, all right, I got to be back here at 4:30. That kind of thing.
4:30. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right, I don't do that much, to be honest.
I mean, that's the only thing that matters early game, to be honest, because like you're not pushing. I mean, just other than like you have to secure lane farm, obviously, and you don't really want to get turret damage prior to 4 minutes, and even since then, it's kind of hard to take it from most heroes. So
what about for invade? Since like at least the first like time you take everything, both teams pretty much take everything at the exact same moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a comp that you know you can win an invade, are you pretty much always going to invade when you know that their thing's going to be up? Or like what's determining whether you're going to be more aggressive stealing the other team's farm? Is it because you want a lane trade too, or?
as a laner, if you just like say you're a little bit stronger than the other laner, or you just clear faster for them for whatever reason, you can get them shoved under turret, and then after that point, you can rotate to take farm. So that would be an opportunity in which I'd do it. Or like, yeah, I mean that's the main thing. Just
But so like when you're
forcing
pushing the
them
farm
under
under the
turret.
turret, are you doing that knowing that you want to steal farm, or
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
coming up
definitely.
as you're doing it?
Yeah.
I guess is it purposeful?
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting at.
hmm Yeah, because I mean, you learn the timers. Like, I mean, pretty much. I mean, Treant's going to spawn the second time at just over 3 minutes most times, and after that, it's like around like 4:30 ish. So yeah, you just want to try to shove lane when that happens.
I haven't looked into them yet. Do the timers go up on as the game goes longer, like they did in 3v3?
No,
It's the same.
always the same.
So it's always the same. That's interesting. Because like
Yeah.
in 3v3, the first timer was like, I don't know, 26 seconds, and then it would go up every minute. It would go up like 2 seconds. I forget the exact numbers, but it was something like that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's always the same. It's just 90 for the healing, or what is it? 90 for the healing, and the
1 minute 30
potatoes.
seconds. The buff is 2 minute 30
Buff is
seconds.
2 minutes 30 seconds,
And the gold
is
oak
2
is
minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Big one's a healer, and then the buff if you can secure it. But
Yeah.
What about when you're jungling? Do you guys jungle that often?
No. Jungling's more about like
I feel like jungling's weird
ganking
now.
the lanes. And it's more about like getting your laners fed. So like, killing the other laner. And like it's a lot of invading. Like so knowing when to invade, like having your laner push that lane, you could like triple invade or whatever.
exactly.
But, yeah.
So do you think they're paying attention to like all those things, or is it shot calls you guys are giving out? Like they just took their bottom healer or something like that.
It's definitely like a mixture of both. Like everyone's talking, like you have your laners calling out the times or whatever, and like the jungler keeps track of the times as well. But it's like a mixture of both, I guess.
Yeah.
So on that same vein, I've heard Cozz mentioned as like the best player in 5v5 right now a couple times by people whose opinions I respect. What is making him so good? Like, I don't know why he got so good all of a sudden, but like, are there specific things you can cite that is making him better than others?
His team's really good at. I mean, I haven't scrimmed PSM a whole lot, and I haven't scrimmed him in like 2 weeks or so. So, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, he's smart and he's good mechanically, and yeah, he's just good at getting his team ahead through rotations and stuff.
He just knows like where to be, like when to be, like like I don't know. He's like, if like it's been a while since I scrimmed them, but like he's like you play against him, like it feels like he's always around the map, like he's always everywhere.
I feel like he's pressuring all 3 lanes all the time,
and like he knows when to invade, he knows when to gank the laner. He's
every rotation
he's really knowledgeable.
Is purposeful, because you don't want to rotate up to lane and like get nothing off of it. So I feel like every time he rotates, he always makes it worth. Whether
he's
it's
never wasting time.
Gang.
Like he's never camping a bush, like sitting there for like 2 minutes. No, he's always on the move. He's always like invading. He's always picking up kills. Like he's just really impactful.
So his like rotational knowledge is top of the game right now.
Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting.
And like it helps.
Making me want to
like
only pay attention to him when I watch streams he's on.
I mean, like maybe, like I don't know, like it could be the team, like their communication is really on point. I don't know. Like his team's really good.
Yeah. I know it's not a one-man thing, especially in 5v5, but I feel like jungle kind of got circumcised a little bit. We'll go with that term.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
And if he's, making these many waves, or at least on people's minds about one of the best players at a position that a lot of people think sucks now, I think that's even more noteworthy,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. He's a beast.
Yeah. I know I saw him do some crazy thing. I mean, it might have been because of a rotation, but he saved somebody's life in one of the battles with a fearsome shade, like over a wall or something. It was pretty crazy.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
like the person he saved totally should have died, and they didn't because of his fearsome shade. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not a good example. Like anybody could have done that anybody at that level anyway could have done that. But I got pretty excited about that one. But what I didn't do and I should do this more. I haven't watched that much film on competitive 5v5, but I'm not paying attention to rotations, and it's probably something I'm weakest at. So I should more. And I think it's not just me. Like everybody's terrible at rotations right now. Or if they get it right, it's not by something of their own doing. It's like they just happen to get lucky, and their laner killed somebody else when they were already on the way up there or something.
Yeah, rotations is like a really big part of 5v5. It's like key.
And you really can't practice it that much. I mean, you can only practice it in scrims because
if you're ranking, like it's not.
Yeah, if you're ranking, the skill differential between players is gonna matter more than the rotation. So,
yeah, because you're not getting punished for bad rotations.
Exactly, and assuming everyone's even, that's the only time when you can actually practice it to try to get leads, for the most part, or at least super close to even.
That's you guys' problem.
I'm learning. You're learning a lot quick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hope competitive's fun, honestly.
Is it fun? Like, are the scrims a lot of fun? Are you guys having fun playing it?
I am, yeah.
Yeah,
because
if you are,
if you are, I think competitive will be fun. Like for viewers.
The game right now is super snowbally though.
Yeah,
like extremely snowbally.
Do you think there's ways to fix it without making the game times go longer? Because I feel like how long the average game takes is almost perfect right now for what Vainglory is. And that's the only thing I would worry about with snowballing is if they take some of those things away, then the games are going to take more like 40 minutes rather than mid-20s.
I mean,
on average.
The games versus Tribe versus TSM were really good. Because you had like a lot of swings, things happening late game. But a lot of times in scrims, like okay, the game that I played with Finesse Gods, second game we just got rolled. It like wasn't even close. We just like lost every lane. But the first game we should have won. Our comp was better than theirs, and we were winning 2 lanes and staying even in top and bot lane. But me and Lightning threw, and we knew you shouldn't have been in that position. But yeah, we just got caught out. And then we got caught out in bot lane. And then mid lane, the roamer unfortunately like missed a fountain on Lexel, and then he died. So like it put us behind after we had a gold lead. And then like after that point, we couldn't come back at all. We pretty much had 0 chance to. I mean, unless I don't know, like because after that they just got ghost swing and they pressured, and they're really good at staying together and sticking together. So, I mean, yeah, it just seems like games are decided by just really small factors. And after a team can win a team fight, they can just go and take the dragons and then pretty much win off of that. So
gotcha. Yeah, so it's usually a mistake. Like some person makes a mistake and then you can't recover.
Yeah, or something like that.
Or
you're just
like
losing
one of the
lane
matchups is fucked up.
Yeah,
and
just
you lose because
really
of it.
bad. Or one lane gets super fed and they make a good rotation, and then yeah, it's hella snowballing.
What do you think they could
Like,
do?
even more so than
Like, what
3v3.
would prevent that?
Well, they just made it more snowbally by decreasing the times that the turrets can go down. The barrier
Yeah,
from 6 to 4 minutes.
troll.
And
It
they
makes it
gave you a
even
buff
more-
after Black Claw too, right?
Yeah,
An ace buff,
which helps
yeah.
finish out games. That makes it more snowbally as well. I would say they could increase bounties and stuff for teams that are behind, but they're already super high. I don't even know if that'll work. Like, you get, I think, like 600 gold. Maybe that's max bounty, which is pretty high. I'm not really sure. It's kind of tough because in 3v3, there's only one lane, so winning or losing it, I don't know. It was more difficult, or how should I put this? In 3v3, like, more often than not, I think games tended to be more even, just because it was rare for like lane to get just rolled. But in 3v3, lane gets rolled a lot more often. Or in 5v5, sorry, it gets rolled a lot more often than in 3v3 because, you know, there's less people around, and there's more matchups that would be unfavorable for one lane. So then once that happens, I don't know, some teams just take over and get a lead that seems super hard to stop.
So why do you think they changed the turret barrier timers then? If that made it more snowball? Just to make,
I don't know.
mean, the only reason to do that would be to make the games quicker.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that, to be honest.
They mentioned on stream too, but I forgot what the reason was behind that. But
It doesn't
yeah,
sound like it was made with competitive in mind, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's super annoying when, like, you're winning your lane and then you make one bad rotation, they two-man your turret, and then it's gone. That's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even though that can be prevented, you know, and you should learn not to do that, it's still annoying. And now it can happen even earlier.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for this week. Next week we have Tinker, Hitman, NeonFire, and myself, and it was a really, really funny podcast. I just listened to it to start editing it, and man, it cracks me up. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, both recording it and listening to it. That one will be coming out next week. Thank you guys for listening.